Welcome back to East Texas Now. Kyle Owens joining you once again as we continue our local softball coverage with teams that are playing in the regional semifinal round this week. And now we are going to be joined by Beckville head coach Ronny Grandgeorge. Coach, how are you?
We're doing great. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I want to ask you about your playoff run so far. You started in bi-district with Alto and played a series against them and won 2-0. Now, area, regional quarterfinals, and then this week against regional in the regional semis, you're doing one-game playoffs. You beat Colemanel 7-0, beat Groveton 5-0 last week. You've outscored your opponents in the postseason 29-2. So, what has this postseason run been like for you, Coach?
It's just really kind of been a magical run, I guess. I didn't even realize the point score had been the way it was. One of my girls actually said something. I think it was it might have been on Friday night after the ball game. They were like, hey, we've only allowed 2 runs so far, and so I think it's been a great testament to the focus, the attention to detail that my pitchers have been given to their craft. But then overall, just a dominant defensive performance. I mean, we haven't necessarily played perfect games, each one of those, but we played pretty close to it, minimizing the errors and just continuing to play ball, not letting the situation get too big and not stressing out when we get a runner on base, just knowing that we can still get the outs that they give us and take care of business.
Well, now, yesterday we talked to Shelbyville coach, Coach Mason, and we're discussing one-game playoffs and series. Now, apparently you like these one-game playoffs because you're doing 3 of them in a row. What's your thoughts on them, Coach?
Well, I don't know that I necessarily like them. The last 2 years, I've pushed for series each and every single time. We got into the area around this year when we were playing Combs-Nil, and actually I wanted a series. Their coach wanted a single game. We had to flip for it. They won it. We went with a single game. My girls were nervous going into that particular performance. They're like, Coach, it's a single game. What happens if we mess up? And I'm like, well, I mean, that's part of it. I said, but I told them at the end of the day, I said, listen, every single series comes down to a one-gamer at some point in time. I mean, you got to win that last third game, or you got to win the second game, something to get it. So I said, don't make more out of it than what it is. Round 3 in the quarterfinals, like I wanted a single game. I felt like after we played Combs-Nil, my girls came out. They played with a little bit more energy. They played with some focus because they knew they didn't have a game 2 or game 3 to fall on. So last week I won the flip and selected the single game with Groveton. And again, my girls came out and played hot. We had talked about it. We felt like going in here into the regional semis, we wanted to try to have a series, but I lost the flip. And so the other team wanted a single. My girls aren't near as nervous this week about it, though. So, at the end of the day, you get down to the state tournament and everything's a single when you get there. So we are kind of we've gotten accustomed to it, and I'm glad that my girls have had that opportunity. They're not out of their element. They're not freaking out as much this week as they were 2 weeks ago when I told them we were going to do a single. So I guess it's got pros and cons depending upon what your pitching depth is and just kind of where you feel like you can. Where your strengths are, and so, but like I said, I'm not necessarily worried this week having a single game. So,
and that's the thing, and I hate it for your luck, Coach. Man, you're losing coin tosses over here, but you're winning the games, and that's the most important.
Hey, at the end of the day, it's the win of the game. I think 2 weeks ago in the area round, I think it was my athletic director. He was the one flipping the coin, and the other team was calling the heads and tails. The other team won it. My AD was apologizing to me. He's like, man, I'm sorry. He said, you better go in or I'm going to feel bad. And so I was involved in all the coin tosses this past weekend when we were setting up for the semifinal game. So I couldn't blame it on anybody else. So, but it's what it is, David. At the end of the day, if we win the game, that's the one that's the most important.
That's exactly right. You could lose every coin toss, but if you win every game, I think you'll take it.
I've told my girls multiple times, listen, you can strike out every single time at bat, but at the end of the night, if the scoreboard has a win on our side, we're going to be happy, and they agree.
That's absolutely right. Well, I want to talk about your one-game playoff this week against McLeod, playing Thursday night at 7 o'clock at ETB. Well, is that still confirmed on Thursday night? Because I've seen some teams move from Thursday.
As of right now, we're still playing on Thursday. There's some other things that we're trying to work around with McLeod, and we've got graduation this week, so we can't we can't just push it to Friday. So we're kind of having to work around a lot of those different pieces and moving parts. And right now, we're holding steady to our Thursday night game. Everybody's watching the weather, just hoping that maybe something will break and we'll be able to get that game in there. If not, it looks like we're gonna have to move it to Saturday.
Okay, well, I do want to ask you about McLeod. They just knocked off Como Picton, who has had a very good 3 or 4 years in this region consistently. What do you know about McLeod, and what are you expecting in this game on Thursday?
I did not have an opportunity to do a whole lot of watching of them because we've been on our run and games have all matched up. Here's what I know. I think they've got a really good pitcher in the circle. I feel like she mixes it up well, keeps people off balance from what I've talked with. She's kind of a workhorse from what people have told me. They seem to have an offense that they will go to the small ball. They'll utilize the bunts to try to move people around, to try to cause some confusion on defense and make the defense make a play. And so I think that's going to be a piece that we have to really be kind of ready for on that side. From the hitting from the defense, like I said, I think it all starts in the circle with them. How she goes is how the team follows, and so we'll just we're hoping that we come out and our bats are on fire, and that'll take care of a lot of it.
All right, Coach. Well, we want to wish you best of luck on Thursday night, if it plays Thursday night, if not Saturday. Whenever this game gets played, we wish you best of luck, Coach, and congratulations on the great run, and we hope it keeps going.
Yeah, yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes.
All right, Coach Ronny Grandgeorge of the Beckville Lady Cats softball team. They that's interesting. So we had Devin yesterday. We had the talk with Coach Mason about the one game and had his opinion. Well, this coach has played going to be his third one game playoff in a row, and he's like,
he's
I don't
dominating him, and every time he's arguing against it.
Yeah, he's like,
no.
I don't like it, but
I want a series. All right, we'll do one game. Dominate. I want a series. All right, we'll do one game. Dominate.
And that's the thing.
You said 29-2?
And that's in the 4 games they've played, but in the 2 1 games, they've outscored, what was it, 7-0, so 12-0 in 2 1 games.
And they're still like, can we get a series? I want a series.
Yeah,
I'm sure the other team is going to start saying, we thought about it. We've been looking at the trail of destruction behind you.
I think we're going to do a series.
Maybe we will do a series. just for you guys. I heard you guys want it. He said that he's arguing for it every single time. I think it's interesting, though, that he said, my girls, they are not nearly as nervous this time around. They said, give us what you got. Apparently, we're great.
which is terrifying if you're the other team, because once you get a team that is playing loose and having fun
and confident and knows exactly what they're doing.
Toughest team to beat.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man.
Once you got momentum like that rolling through the postseason, they don't care if it's a single. They don't care. They're confident either way that coin flips. That's tough to beat when you're mentally ready for it.
I'm excited for them. I do have one little update.
Oh, tell us.
Reigns softball.
Okay.
Their game 1 was scheduled for Thursday at A&M Commerce. It has been moved to tomorrow,
because
Wednesday.
of weather?
Yep. That's why I was asking Coach, because I had just found out that Reigns got moved. So I was like, well, let me ask, make sure.
No, that makes sense.
Reigns Lady Cat fans, game 1 is actually tomorrow at A&M Commerce, 6:30.
Breaking news. Just happened. Pow, pow, pow.
I told you we'd have breaking sports news.
Yep. We need a audio board that creates special sound effects.
Make that happen.
Bow, bow, bow.
Don't tempt me.
I